6.4 magnitude earthquake shakes Chiayi's Dapu, roads blocked. Legislative Yuan debates budget, cuts 100 billion new Taiwan dollars Taipower subsidy. Legislative Yuan slashes budgets for PTS, cultural projects amid budget review. 90 Palestinian prisoners released as ceasefire enters first full day. UK attacker pleads guilty to triple murder. Gasoline tanker explosion in Nigeria kills dozens. Canada's foreign minister endorses Carney to replace Trudeau. World could soon witness its first Trillionaires.
Hello everyone, I'm Oceana. Thank you for joining us on Funday News. It is Tuesday, January 21st, and here are your top stories. In local news, a powerful earthquake with a magnitude of 6.4 struck Chiayi County's Dapu township at 12:17 a.m., registering a maximum intensity of 6 lower. The quake caused road disruptions in parts of Dapu, affecting transportation and safety. In response, the township has suspended work and classes today to ensure public safety, according to the Chiayi County government. The legislative Yuan intensifies efforts to complete the 2024 central government budget before the session ends tomorrow. Lawmakers worked late into the night, reaching the Ministry of Economic Affairs subsidy for Taipower. With support from the KMT and TPP, a proposal to cut 100.02 billion NT dollar from the subsidy was passed. The review is expected to continue into early morning as parties strive to finalize the budget's third reading. The legislative Yuan worked late into the night reviewing the central budget, freezing 25% of PTS funds and cutting 23 million NT dollars after KMT negotiations. 40 million NT dollars was removed from the Taiwan Wave project and 30 million NT dollars from the Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall programs. And in global news, Israel released 90 Palestinian prisoners, all women and children, as part of the first phase of the ceasefire. The ceasefire appeared to hold after it began the release of 3 Israeli women, including a dual British national. 4 more hostages are expected to be released on Saturday during the 42-day first phase, with a total of 33 hostages and nearly 2,000 Palestinian prisoners and detainees set to be freed. Hundreds of aid trucks have entered Gaza, where shortages of food, medicine, and fuel have created a spiraling humanitarian crisis.
Displaced Palestinians in Gaza began returning to their homes, mostly on foot, only to find that much of the enclave had been reduced to rubble. The United Nations said 92% of all housing units had been destroyed. Israel's centrist opposition leader, Yair Lapid, urged the Israeli government on Monday to turn its focus to rebuilding Israeli deterrence, the economy, and society. Since the deal went into effect on Sunday, 3 far-right ministers, including Finance Minister Ben-Gvir, have left the coalition government of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, resigning in protest. Lapid told the Times of Israel today that he would provide a political safety net to Netanyahu to ensure the government does not fall because of the deal.
A British teenager unexpectedly pleaded guilty on Monday to the charges of murdering 3 young girls in a knife attack in northern England in July, a crime that horrified the nation and was followed by days of nationwide rioting. Axel Rudakubana, age 18, changed his plea from not guilty to guilty on what was due to be the first day of his trial at Liverpool Crown Court. He pleaded guilty to the murder of the children who were attending a Taylor Swift-themed dance event held for children during the summer vacation in the town of Southport last July.
Rudakubana also pleaded guilty to 10 charges of attempted murder related to the attack, as well as to producing the deadly poison ricin and possessing an Al-Qaeda training manual. Judge Julian Goose said he would sentence him on Thursday and that a life jail term was inevitable. Goose noted that the victims' families were not present to see him plead guilty, as the prosecution's opening was not expected until Tuesday. Rudakubana initially refused to speak when asked to confirm his name, as he had at all previous hearings, which meant that not guilty pleas had been entered on his behalf in December. However, after consulting with his lawyer, he confirmed he wished to change those pleas.
The death toll from a gasoline tanker explosion in north-central Nigeria has risen to 86. The blast occurred in the early hours of Saturday near the Suleja area after individuals attempted to transfer gasoline from a crashed oil tanker into another truck using a generator. The fuel transfer sparked the explosion, killing those transferring the gasoline as well as bystanders. An official said, "There were people that were burnt to ashes. How can we get that figure?" indicating that the death toll might be higher than 86.
Hussaini Isa of the National Emergency Management Agency said the blast claimed so many victims because a crowd had gathered at the scene, including people taking pictures, bystanders, and others attempting to scoop gasoline. Gasoline prices in Africa's most populous country have soared since the administration of President Bola Tinubu removed subsidies on the product more than a year ago in an attempt to channel resources toward developmental purposes. However, the policy has caused significant hardship. Scooping gasoline from a fallen tanker is common in Nigeria, as some people see it as an opportunity to obtain free fuel that they can either use or resell for a profit.
Canadian Foreign Minister Melanie Joly announced on Sunday that she is endorsing former central banker Mark Carney to be the next Liberal leader and Canada's new Prime Minister. She believes Carney is best positioned to defeat opposition Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre in the coming election and is the best candidate to address U.S. President Donald Trump's threat to impose sweeping tariffs on Canada. Carney helped Canada avoid the worst of the 2008 financial crisis while heading the country's central bank.
He also helped the UK manage the aftereffects of Brexit during his 7-year tenure as Governor of the Bank of England. Joly's endorsement comes as ex-Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland begins her campaign Sunday to replace Justin Trudeau, who will remain Prime Minister until a new Liberal Party leader is chosen on March 9. Joly, considered a leadership candidate, decided not to run so she could help address Trump's tariff threat. Freeland resigned from Trudeau's cabinet on December 16, criticizing some of Trudeau's economic priorities amid Trump's tariff threats. The move stunned the country and raised questions about how much longer the increasingly unpopular Trudeau could remain in office.
On Monday, Oxfam said its annual inequality report that billionaire wealth surged in 2024 as the world's richest people increasingly benefited from inheritance and powerful connections. The global charity said on Sunday that the combined wealth of the world's wealthiest rose from 13 trillion to 15 trillion in just 12 months. It marks the second largest annual increase in billionaire wealth since Oxfam began keeping records. Citing World Bank data, the charity said the number of people living in poverty has barely changed since 1990.
The data showed that the richest 1% own nearly 45% of all wealth, while 44% of humanity lives below the World Bank poverty line of $6.85 per day. As the wealth of the richest people accelerates faster than predicted, Oxfam expects to see at least 5 trillionaires within a decade. The failure to stop billionaires is spawning soon-to-be trillionaires. Not only has billionaire wealth accumulation tripled, but so has their power. The report highlights an increase in unmerited wealth, showing that 60% of billionaire wealth comes from inheritance, monopoly, or crony connections. Oxfam's "Takers Not Makers" report comes as billionaire Donald Trump returns to the White House and 3,000 leaders from over 130 countries prepare for the World Economic Forum in Davos.
The answer for yesterday was B, outlined. The report outlined the main points of the new policy. Did you answer correctly? Now let's delve into today's news. UK attacker pleads guilty to triple murder. Number 1. Plead. 辩护. She pleaded with her boss for more time to finish the project. Number 2. Plea. 恳求. His plea for mercy was denied by the judge. Number 3. Inevitable. 不可避免的. The rise in temperatures due to climate change is inevitable. Next, we have a multiple choice question for everyone to practice. Which answer would you choose? You can write your answer in the comments section. The correct answer will be announced tomorrow. And that's all for today's Funday news. Be sure to tune into Funday news from Monday to Friday and click the link below to join Funday for free. I'm your host, Oceana. I'll see you next time.